Hey there everyone, my name's Nathan Elson, and today I'm going to take you through one of the most requested lighting tutorials that I get in the comments section on this channel, which is how to do top-down lighting. Now this is a style of lighting that can bring out a ton of shape and detail in your subjects, but it does have a few different nuances to it that can essentially kind of be the difference between whether this light looks awesome or it looks awful. So I'm going to take you through a couple of different lighting styles, shooting both on light backgrounds as well as dark backgrounds, and the things that I do to make both of them work with this style of lighting. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you about today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. Now, the majority of the viewers of this channel are here because you want to learn something about photography, but I am just one voice of many. And on Skillshare, you can expand your knowledge in so many different subjects, photography included, but they also offer classes for things like art and illustration, animation, and graphic design. Now for myself, I am currently learning as much as I can about productivity and finding ways to make better use of my time, which for someone as busy as I am, has been awesome. So if you're one of the first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code, you will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today, learn some new skills. So as I was saying, I'm going to show you how I use top-down lighting for both light backdrops as well as dark backdrops, but let's start with the light backdrop. Now, when it comes to top-down lighting, or any lighting for that matter, placement of your lighting and your subject is key. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is place my model about 5 feet away from the background so that the light falls off to a light gray, which is one of my favorite ways to shoot on a white background. I also really like the way the light hits the floor and creates almost a spotlight effect when the lighting is coming from above and the background is darker than the foreground. Now, the positioning of the overhead light is where most people get this wrong, as they simply place the lighting overhead of their subject, but that creates these really hard shadows and you don't really get any light into the eyes, and it just really throws the whole vibe off. Now, what you want to do instead is place the lighting 1 to 2 feet above your subject and then place the back edge of the modifier so that it's just in front of your subject. Now, this allows the full spread of light from the modifier to feather down your subject's face and body, creating beautiful light from the top to the bottom of your frame. Now, this is by far one of my favorite one light setups, and it looks amazing in both color as well as black and white. Now, the lighting is metered to f8 at 1/2 of a second at ISO 100. And when you put all of this together, this is what it ends up looking like. I've also done this same style of lighting where the model was sitting on the white background. Now, the nice thing about this is that the white floor acts as a subtle bounce, meaning that the shadows are a little softer and the transitions from your highlights to your shadows are a little smoother. Now, for this setup, I did have the lighting angled in a little bit more than the first setup, but it's still coming from overhead and centered, which is what gives the model that great shape in her cheeks and her jawline. And again, this is just one light, and when you tie it all together, this is what we created. All right, so now you've seen what you can do with just one light and a white background. But what if you've got a model that's wearing dark clothing and they're against a dark background, and you still want to hold on to that top-down lighting effect, but you need to separate your subject from the background as well? So let's just jump into the studio. I'll show you how that's done. Now, the setup for my key light is the same for my dark backdrop as it is for my light backdrop, with the lighting positioned overhead and out in front of the model to feather that light down her entire body. But she also has dark hair and she's wearing dark clothing, and I didn't want to lose the detail in the final images. So I added in a second light that I placed behind the backdrop and aimed towards the model's back and hair. Now, this placement of light is crucial because if I placed the light so that it was angled downward towards the model, there would be a ton of light spill on the backdrop and we would lose that dark background that I wanted. So I made sure to place the lighting so that it was behind the backdrop and in no way bleeding light onto the background. With this separation light combined with the key light on the dark background, this is what the final images ended up looking like. So there you have it. That's how you use top-down lighting to create the most flattering light that you can on your portrait subjects. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.